relationship status. Would you say you're a girlfriend for 16 years?
Yes.
Okay. Do you not want to be married again?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Interesting. Why not? Curious.
I want to preface this by saying I'm not against marriage at all. And I love weddings and I really support my friends' marriages. But for me, there's something about the business aspect of it, which I didn't know as much about until I got divorced, and how much paperwork there was involved in that and how marriage is really a legal contract. I don't ever want to go through that again. And honestly, I feel like my relationship is great.
Yeah.
He and I are together not because of a contract, but because we just really want to be together. And I'm also not ruling it out. I think if we continue to grow old together, we'll probably need to get married for medical reasons so that we can be each other's, what is it called when you, it's their contact, their emergency contact, or the person who has rights in the hospital can make decisions.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, it's like some type of. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When somebody gets hurt, they can make decisions about your life and things like that.
So that might be a reason for us to get married, and I'm not ruling that out. But at this moment, I do not want to get married.
Would you say that the legality part of marriage has kind of changed the dynamic of what marriage was supposed to be? Because back in the day, there were no contracts, right? It was like if you were married, nobody really divorced. They would stick it out. They would stay together. They would work things out. It was more of a religious aspect and more of just a spiritual bond. Would you say that component is kind of missing from marriage nowadays?
Well, I would say way back in the day, marriage was absolutely a business transaction. It was, that's how dowries came about. You got married and you got the cow, or you got the house, or you got the money. That was the reason to get married. Marriages were arranged for the purposes of growing dynasties and legacies or joining families.
Right.
And in a lot of cultures, they still have marriage, and then love marriages are a separate thing. But a marriage is the arrangement. And the arrangement is based on transaction. But I hear what you're saying. And I think you're talking about like in the 40s and 50s, 30s, 40s and 50s, especially here in this country, where people kept the same job all their lives. They got in at an entry level, they got promoted and promoted and promoted, and then they retired. And people also got married very young. They had children with that person and they never got divorced. It just wasn't part of the culture of that time. I don't know that those people were happier in their marriages, but certainly they stuck it out because there didn't seem to be another option.
Is marriage supposed to be about happiness?
I would hope so. I mean, that's why I got married. I wanted to be happy.
You wanted to be happy?
Yeah. It wasn't transactional for me when I got married. It is the contract that's the stopgap for me. That's the deterrent. I don't want to go through that again. I don't see any reason to have a contract. Right. The ceremony I might not be opposed to. Standing in front of witnesses and saying vows, and I don't feel the need to do that, but I probably wouldn't be opposed to it. But I don't want to go through the legalities again if I don't have to.
Yeah, I think most modern marriages don't really need the contract or the government involved within the relationship. I think that's where the problems really come into play. Mm-hmm. And we really lost that sense of just duty and it means to be a wife and what it means to be a husband. And then when you factor in the ease and the cost of a divorce, and the fact that women initiate 70% of the divorces and men lose most of their assets in most of the divorces, right? I just think the way we look and treat marriages change, and maybe we need to bring back that aspect of just a spiritual bonding, right? And it was refreshing to hear you say that you were just a long-term girlfriend, that you didn't need marriage, because it just felt like you understand how dangerous it could be after experiencing it.
For me, I want to underscore that, because I know for a lot of people it absolutely works, and I agree with
Well,
you.
for what people do you think it works for? Who do you think it benefits more, the man or the woman?
So I will say this. I have a small group of friends. I have a
Mhm.
lot of acquaintances, but I only have about 10 friends. Of these 10 friends, 8 of them are the breadwinners in their relationship. They're all married to men who also make money, but not as much money as these women. The women are the homeowners. They're the people who purchase the home. They are the people who bring home the most money. They kind of are the shot callers in the relationship. Not always, but kind of. When it comes down to big financial decisions, because they bring in the most money, these are the how the decisions go. It's maybe, you know, 60% her, 30%. So if these women were to get divorced, they would be the ones taking the hit financially.